So I should get the update pretty much instantaneously.
It's loading.
Oh.
There you go. We are live.
We are live. What's going on, YouTube? If you stand by while we figure out some logistics here, I got to make sure I can actually see the questions you guys are sending us. I just got
set up that chat.
That we are live. I'm making sure that our chat is there. If you are following us from TikTok, I appreciate it. I had a really cool discussion with everybody on TikTok about policing and defunding and all that crazy nonsense.
Defunding.
If you follow us from there, welcome to our YouTube. If anyone that's new to our YouTube, come check it out. We'd like to give a special thanks to Bill for setting up another podcast.
You're welcome.
Bill has brought a bunch of stuff from Instagram and YouTube, and we're going to do a breakdown. So, Bill, the seat is yours.
So, this popped up today, and you're going to love it just as much as I did. These are our favorite second responders getting chased by a longhorn.
The scene is not secure. That's hilarious.
There's no way I couldn't play this when it's a longhorn.
That's
and it's firefighters.
Where's Ventura County at?
I don't know. I think maybe California? I don't know.
That sounds like California.
It does, right?
As much as I'm going to sit here and talk shit about these cops running from this longhorn, I wouldn't know.
Look at this.
I don't know. What am I going to do? Yell at it?
You guys should wait for the cops as usual.
Savage. Emotional damage. Yeah, I wouldn't know what to do. But yeah, this is. I have had it. Bill, I don't know if you were on that call with me. We had it was domestic, and we're sitting there and we're taking a statement from this chick, and her girlfriend came back. And it was like an ag assault domestic, like it was legit. And I'm sitting there and I'm talking to the lady, and someone just walks in the front door, and the chick kind of pops up and looks at me and looks at the chick and looks at me, and I was like, "Wait, that's not her, is it?" And she's like, "Yeah." And I had to look at Fire, who was like attending to her, and I was like, "Hey, by the way, the seat is no longer secure." And they literally, I kid you not, they all like walked into the kitchen and huddled in the kitchen because they couldn't leave.
I believe that.
It was the most adorable thing I'd ever seen.
I believe that for sure.
It wasn't a longhorn. At least the lady I could arrest. The longhorn I wouldn't know to do that.
Dude, the lady was probably more dangerous than the longhorn.
Probably, to be honest, yeah.
If it was one of those domestics. You know
yes,
what I'm
it
saying?
was one of those domestics.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So this one,
the next one
popped up. This was just gnarly and kind of just shows like how on your toes you have to be all the time.
That's some pretty thick fog cover there.
Because we were working accidents on the highway every day.
3 major highways that went through our city?
4.
And
4.
In my beat, I had 2 that intersected.
Yeah, 2.
So I think I had, I think we had like 2 or 3 miles of one of them. That we had like 2 or 3 exits that went through our chunk of it. It sucked.
Yep. So
Bill is a little loud, according to producer 1.
What do you want me to do about it?
I guess turn down your gain. Maybe he's on the butt or the boobies setting. I don't know what to do.
I don't know, dude. I haven't changed anything since last time.
It is what it is, man.
So here you go.
Oof.
I'm gonna turn the sound off because there's a song playing.
Oh, that gives me PTSD.
Yeah, dude. Like,
I'm triggered.
Thank God it was never a semi, but this is just some guy working out, like trying to promote fitness, like get out of the way. But
shout out to Police Post. I love these guys.
Yeah, they post good stuff. But
man,
thankfully it was just like cars hitting other cars when we were out there. It was never anything like that.
And I worked accidents. Bill can tell you. I worked my handful share of accidents. This was the one thing I hated about having highways.
Yeah.
Was that, I mean, this is Texas, so you had dudes screaming like 70, 80, 90 miles per hour in semis and stuff
speed limit's like 60. They're doing like 80. Like, I almost got hit putting flares out.
That's what I mean, yeah.
In the middle of the night. Like,
I went through hundreds, maybe, I don't know if I had 1,000, but I definitely went through hundreds of flares, multiple boxes worth of flares.
Yeah.
On some nights because we were concerned about being hit by vehicles.
It's probably what's going to kill us.
Sure.
The inhalation from the flares.
Yeah. So. Oh, for sure. Cancer later. I'll be on the mesothelioma commercials.
So, Michigan highways are wild. Like, you think Texas is wild. Michigan highways are wild.
I'm about it.
So, there's this guy in this car. He runs across the highway, decides to lay down in a lane of traffic.
Oof.
Look at that.
Ooh.
That dude was flying. So this state trooper runs across, picks him up, and drags him back.
I wonder why. Is it a stop?
So I think the car was pulled over. I don't know. It doesn't.
This guy got handcuffs on?
No. No, he's dragging him. Look, he's just dead weight.
What a weird dude.
So I think he was trying to kill himself.
Yeah, it's probably one of those.
But again, it's just like, are you fit enough to drag someone? Like, they're really trying to. They're really trying to promote fitness because it's the new year. Yeah,
I get it. Yeah, I get it. I think fitness is a proponent. I was talking about this on the TikTok earlier that when I went live over there. Shout out if anyone followed us. I don't know, man. Highways are sketchy. It was the one thing that gave me, and as much as like building searches kind of sucked, or like when you're in a domestic, like being inside of a structure kind of sucks because you're going into someone else's.
At least you could lock the door, though.
Yeah,
in most cases.
Man, highways, especially like even within the city, you had I called them invisible bullets, but you had people that like didn't have headlights and stuff like that, just absolutely cooking it. They can't see you and you can't see them, and they just typically can't stop in time for that kind of stuff. We had, I think, in both adjacent cities that worked, that kind of sandwiched our municipality, we had officers die while we were working there. Through our tenure, we had multiple officers die from vehicle-related stuff.
Yeah, that one guy got hit running
nailed.
traffic.
Yeah, he got nailed. He wasn't even on duty. He just tried to stop and help somebody, and he got nailed. So I don't know, man. It gives me heartburn every time I see highway-related stuff. But
yeah,
it is by far, dude. Wear a reflective vest, dude. Like, as dorky as they look, like, wear it. And as annoying as it is to set out flares, set them.
Flares, your lights, like,
anything that
be as visible as possible.
Yeah,
and even then, it's still.
I was about to say, even then, like, you got to think about drunks and stuff like that. It is the
people looking at their phones. You know,
if there was a Deadpool for what I thought was going to kill me in policing, it was definitely that.
Yeah.
What happened here? This is a weird looking car.
This is not a car.
What?
It's a plane.
Oh, you're not kidding. This is a plane.
No, it's a plane. So we've got this video, then I'll show you another angle.
Go, 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 go!
Oh, is that a train? Try not to cuss to get demonetized. Oh.
So here's another angle.
Possible anyways. It was like a legit little Cessna. Bro, they barely got out of there. Look at Fire being adorable.
Also, another reason you don't stand there and record on your cell phones, you can get hit by plane debris as a train drives through it.
And
I'm just saying.
Again, anyone that's willing to be a first responder, this is LAPD, bro. Look at these guys. Police training, police post, shout out. I will always give respect to people that are still willing to do the job.
However, I'm talking about this idiot that got out of his car to record.
Oh, I'm with you, 100%. This guy's an idiot. I will say this, though. Notice that it was only cops pulling that guy out of that plane. Fires over here, I guess, twiddling their thumbs. And
staging.
They're still not. I guess it's not secure, but still. They have this taped off.
Yeah, I don't know.
Why weren't they extracting this? They had time to tape it off, but they couldn't extract this.
I have no idea. There's not a lot of video out about it.
I'd be curious to get some context for this. But there was a dude who recently faked a plane crash for YouTube clout. I wish the train hit that dude.
Yeah.
Who fakes stuff? That's so stupid. I can't stand. It's like swatting calls and stuff like that. Bro, these are like there are real people out there that have real problems that need help, and you have these losers on the internet doing like and that's coming from somebody doing dumb stuff on the internet for clout. I mean, I have my stupid admin skits and stuff like that, but like, I'm not calling 911 or like doing anything to waste the time of taxpayer money. I don't know. That shit pisses me off.
Yeah.
Ready Man Network. I don't know anything about these guys, but shout out. Thank you for the video.
Yeah, so this is just, I put this one in there for you, more than anything.
For me?
Yeah. Firearm safety.
Gunsmith. Ooh! Did she take a round?
I think he did.
It's gonna take her a minute to find it if she did.
Wow. Wow.
Bro, he took it to the hand? Play it back.
I don't know. It'll play again. I don't know if he took it to the hand or if it was the slide and she took the round. I'm not positive. It's hard to tell because of the way he's holding the gun. It's pointed at her, though. There's no...
Yeah, he took it in the hand. He took it in the hand like that.
I think it hit her in the leg.
Idiot.
Because she's, like, holding her hip.
I think it did. But she took that like a champ.
Well...
Probably in shock.
Yeah, I mean...
It's whatever. Bro, so, like... I am and will probably forever always be a very large proponent of the Second Amendment, and I want to apologize for that.
There's a right way and a wrong way to use the Second Amendment.
Agreed. And
that's the wrong way.
If you don't know, you don't know. I'm not going to be doing electrical work on my house anytime soon.
Me
I'm not going to be replacing the transmission in my truck anytime soon. I'm probably... I don't want to be the one performing heart surgery on myself. I'm not going to hire Bill to do heart surgery. I trust this man with my life. Not to save it if I need heart surgery, but I trust him with my life.
Not me.
Know what you know and know what you don't know. Just stay in your lane and stop doing dumb shit like this. Because I don't know. This is the same thing when people... We talked about this in the other stream that we did about like intervening in something is like make sure you have the right training and experience, or at least the confidence that you can do it. This guy's... Imagine if that hit that lady somewhere where it killed her.
Yeah.
You know, he probably... Those nerves in that dude's hand are never going to be the same again.
Oh, guaranteed not.
And imagine if that was a shotgun. Imagine if that was like... I have like World War II rifles that, man, you took a round from one of those?
Yeah. Well, and here's my other problem with that. Why, first of all, why are they standing in the hallway? Why are they loading that gun in the hallway? Like, like when you go to a gun range around here, they walk you to the lane.
Yeah. And
you don't get your gun out until you're in the lane where it's always pointed down range. Like, I don't know, man.
I say this as a person that keeps... I am probably no more than 10 to 20 feet at any point in my life away from a loaded firearm. Ever. At any point. Unless I was going to, like, the DPS or something like that.
Right.
Or the DMV or something. Like, I'm always somewhere near a loaded firearm. And, you know, knock on wood or whatever, but, like, there's just... You take safety precautions. Hey, like, treat it like it's always loaded. You know, always pointed in a safe direction. If for some stupid reason this gun happens to go off, make sure it's pointed in a way that it's not... the worst thing it's going to hurt is a wall.
Yeah, and your ears if you don't have your pro on.
Yeah, but, like, these are not hard... These aren't hard rules. I don't know. Shit pisses me off. Anyways, we'll keep going. That's why we can't have nice things.
So
people keep trying to take our nice things away, you idiots.
This one is in the nicer Carolina, South Carolina.
He's in the nicer Carolina. Michael, if you watch this later, that's for Kristen. She knows what's up. Shout out to Police Post again, always providing the healthy content here.
So this is an officer-involved shooting from the 5th of January.
Left on can. Going to the back of the trailer park.
Going to the back of the trailer park? Oh, what a maniac. I'm about it. Look at this man.
Tries to tase him.
Taser. All that popping tells you it didn't connect. Obviously, him still running too.
Yeah.
Ah, this is suck. This is sucky. All of this sucks.
In the trailer park.
He did have a pretty good reload on his taser.
Blue hat.
Pause it real quick. So, I only had 2 foot chases that went further than like a block. This sucks.
Yeah. Well,
This sucks a lot.
and I never had one in such a shitty area like that.
Yeah.
Like,
The 2 I had that went more than a block were in both of them were in shit areas. I wasn't by myself, fortunately, in both of them. I was very lucky to not be by myself. But like, either he's smoking his backup or it's just him. Bro, his radio traffic was incredible. We bitch about this in like every rookie video we watch, like, or whatever. His radio traffic's incredible.
he's not a rookie, you can tell.
Oh, for sure. Well, I meant like the rookie.
No, I know. I'm just saying.
Yeah,
This
this
guy's not a
first
rookie,
case.
yeah.
This is not his first rodeo.
You
But
can tell.
like, oh,
And
like-
it says it's in a county, so I'm assuming he's a county
he's
deputy.
probably, he's
So
probably by himself, man. I wonder what the call text is for this. But
I don't know.
This is the worst case. I don't want to say the worst case scenario. This is
It's
up
pretty
there with
bad.
some of the worst situations you can find yourself in.
like this in an apartment complex is pretty terrible.
Well, and running after a guy that's obviously clearly pretty motivated to not go to jail.
Yeah.
And then what's sucky about this specific situation is for him to go to, if this becomes a lethal threat to him, he's now going to have to basically drop his taser. There's a lot of training that goes into this. There's a lot of, I've seen a lot of actually really good training where they talk about occupying your hand with like a Coke can or something like that to teach you, hey, if this is a deadly threat, the first thing I need to do is make sure my hand is empty. And then I need to go and draw fire. I'd be curious to see how this. It's an OIS, so I know how it's going to go, but I'd be curious to see what happens.
Get on the ground, you'll be tased! I'm gonna tase you! Don't you do it!
Did you hear him?
Yeah, he said I'm going to shoot you.
Yeah.
Hey, he was lucky to get a heads up, to be honest.
Put it
Yeah.
down!
Oh, he ended that pretty quickly.
Single drive. Start me EMS.
Immediate on the radio traffic. Might be this guy's an absolute
Show me your
animal.
hands.
So pause it.
Put your hands.
It's pretty much over.
So, and I kind of want on the back end kind of try to explain this to everybody that's here. Talk about the shittiest of backdrops. Like,
Yeah.
not only is it a home, it's a mobile home, so it's
Yeah.
probably like super paper thin walls.
Yep.
You miss here, you're landing this in somebody's house.
Yep.
And again, we'll bring it back to that LAPD shooting that happened in the Burlington Coat Factory. This is a way worse backdrop. This is a way worse set of circumstances. He's taking a shot with an inferior weapon platform after running at least a football field, if not longer.
And also,
And
if
jumping
he gets
fences
shot
and all
at,
that.
it's going
yeah.
into a trailer
Oh, yeah.
right behind it.
So when people talk about qualified immunity, when people talk about all of that kind of stuff, these are the reasons why we can't lose that. If this guy says I'm going to shoot you, I don't have qualified immunity, I just run at that point. I can't.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not going to risk, getting into a shooting in the situation.
Would you even chase him to begin with?
No, let's
without
be honest.
qualified
I wouldn't have
immunity?
even. I would have been like, oh, bye. Let me know what happens afterwards.
See ya. Got a good
Um,
description.
Yeah, that being said, I mean, if you're going to present anything that's going to make a reasonable person believe that you're a deadly threat and law enforcement uses deadly force on you, I have a really hard time feeling bad for you, to be honest.
Yeah.
I understand there's some instances where you can talk about mental health, you can talk about situations like that. I just don't see... Yeah. Shout out to that dude, though. What an absolute animal. I don't know how you would handle this situation any better. He's by himself. He's clearly by himself. Bro, shout out to this red dot.
Yeah, I wanted you to see that.
Goodness gracious. He works in a place that loves him, clearly.
Well, if he has that on there, there's a good chance he also trains pretty heavily with it.
So just to point this out, just that red dot alone costs more than that firearm does.
Yeah.
And I will say this. There's a reason why that equipment makes sense. A red dot is 1 point, and I'll have this discussion with people, red dots versus iron sights. If the pistol is sighted incorrectly, I'm only having to look at 1 dot, not 3, to aim at a target. It also helps with hitting a target when it's farther away if I had to use a handgun. Having a weapon-mounted light increases the weight of the handgun, which also actually technically aids in accuracy, which he has that. But
He's also got a light, weapon-mounted light.
paying that extra money to give this guy the training and equipment he needs to be successful leads to this situation having no one else getting hurt. You run a guy in there that's overworked, undertrained, and under-equipped, and you have what happened at Burlington Coat Factory. That's all I'm just trying to say. Shout out to that guy. What an absolute animal. He handled that. I don't know how you would have. It sucks the way it ended, but from the context of law enforcement, what more do you want that officer to do? He tried tasing him.
Twice.
He ran after him. He gave him a ton of verbal commands. He was trying to get more assets to him, honestly, to probably back off. If he had more cops with him, he'd probably just surrounded the dude and backed off and let it be a standoff. That was not the situation he was presented with. And he cannot, if this person is armed, and I'll talk about the case law around this, he cannot let this person run and then take somebody hostage.
Yeah, bust in somebody's door and
Sure.
turn
Victimize
this into
somebody else.
Yeah, it's a barricaded
So
hostage situation now.
A lot of people will have heartburn about that. Well, he could have ran, or maybe you got to give this guy an opportunity. How many people are you going to let what's clearly now a person that's unreasonable? This person's doing unreasonable shit. Pretty much everyone watching this has never done what this guy's doing currently. You know, running around like an idiot. I don't know what the call text was for the initial police engagement. Threatening to shoot cops and all that kind of stuff. Or
it's so new that there's nothing really. They haven't released a lot yet.
So that's what I'm getting at. You're not engaging in high risk enough behavior to be in this predicament in the first place. So when you start apologizing for it, you kind of have to ask yourself, would you be there in the first? I get it if it's like I'm in my own home minding my own business.
Yeah, it's different.
There's arguments for that kind of stuff. You know, as much heartburn as I might get about the Breonna Taylor case and all the things surrounding that, they were in their own home. You know? I mean, everyone sits in their own home. Now, I'm not out selling crack and stuff like that, but like there is
a little different. Yeah,
there's a broader discussion that a lot of people don't like having when it comes to officer-involved shootings. But like, if you do not give law enforcement options, what do you expect? I've had plenty of SWAT call-outs where no one gets shot. I've had plenty of people at gunpoint that end up not getting shot because they gave me options, and I took literally every single time I took the other option, other than shoot.
Yeah.
So officers do it every day.
We never shot anyone. It's amazing,
never
right?
once. I never discharged my fire. I pointed it at a ton of people, but I never.
It's crazy.
Discharged my fire. Crazy. And that was most officers that I worked with. Mike the cop, shout out. Love that guy. He's a little quirky though. Some of his skits get a little weird. I say that and I do admin skits, but
I think
come on, Mike.
I think it's gone.
Oh, it's gone?
It looks like it.
Well, like, comment, subscribe, because we might be gone like that too one day, because we are a police-related channel. So
you know. I'm pretty sure this is the one that I sent in the group chat where the dog runs off.
I did see this one.
Oh, are we screwed now? Nothing's gonna load.
Done? Go to the very end, or did you order it in a specific order?
No, it's fine.
Just reload the page. I'm gonna do the technical difficulties.
There we go.
There it
is.
Job.
Put your hands on the back of your head. Put your hands on the back of your head now. Right now. Put your hands on the back of your head now. Right now. Fora. Hey, Rocco, here.
Bye.
Here. Rocco, here. I said, go. Here.
Oh, what a bad day.
Rocco.
But Rocco's a menace. I'm gonna be honest,
can't, dude.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest. Like, I don't know that you ever recover from that. Kings of Sight, what's going on? Poor dude was confused. No kidding. Thank you for the heart in chat. I appreciate it. Yeah, man.
You know what? Rocco had a bad day. Okay, we all have them.
Yeah,
it's fine.
Rocco. He probably just didn't get enough playtime that day. I will say this. I'm glad nobody got hurt, or to my understanding, nobody got hurt in this.
Yeah, there's not really much to the
my
clip.
dogs are scary. I'm a dog. I love animals. I rescued 2 cats in my time on patrol.
That's what worries me. That guy wasn't scared of the dog. Like,
yeah.
That guy
Yeah,
did not
seriously.
care. Like,
Oh, man.
that would worry me.
Woke up on the wrong side of the kennel.
Probably did.
King of Sight, that was incredible. Let's see. Austin's defunded police no longer have staff to monitor sex offenders. Fun. I actually had to do, I think on three different occasions, we had to do sex offender registrations. So you go around and go to all of the registered sex offenders in your area, and you have to check in on them.
Yeah.
And it's kind of weird. It is the strangest thing ever to do, and they're around more than you think. But it definitely, that's shady. I'd be nervous if I was living in Austin.
Well,
There's a lot of other reasons why, but there's that.
This isn't the first thing to go. Like, when Austin
no.
defunded to begin with, they had to get rid of almost all their specialized units. Like,
Yeah.
this is no surprise. It's just, it's funny that it's more and more is coming out.
Yeah, Rocco's going to bed without squeaky toy for that one for sure. Not getting the treat
Dude,
on that
no
one.
treats.
Do
squeaky
dogs
toys.
go for retraining, or do they get fired, or something like that? I got to write that dog up actually. That dog probably doesn't get a write up.
You do have to. Hey,
yeah,
it's part of the gig,
but
dude.
I think my guess is that they would probably spend more time trying to reach. That's probably an $80,000 dog. You know, I mean, they spent a lot of money, unless they didn't, and this is what happens when you don't spend money on your dog.
Well, also,
again,
some of that could be on the handler.
The other thing I was going to point out was that if I have other officers present and I have a lot of distractions, I'm probably not deploying it. And I was not a canine handler.
Not off leash. You're not just going to let him go.
Yeah, I had enough interactions with canine where they would tell us oftentimes, this is not a good time to utilize my dog.
No.
He knew the limitations of his dog. They would know when and when it wasn't maybe an appropriate time to utilize it. Dogs, especially bite dogs, bro, they fuck people up. I'm gonna be honest. Like,
Yeah. Well, my thing is, there was other cops there.
that's what I'm getting at. That's what I'm getting
He
at.
never
There's
had him on the
other-
leash. He just let him out of the car. I think some of that's on the handler, to be honest. I think the handler needs more training.
Yeah, and especially you got to think like if you look at I don't want to shit on county guys right now, but like if you look at municipalities that don't deal with combative subjects as often as you get in like bigger cities, and we work in a bigger city, you don't know how to move and shake in those situations. Your dog doesn't know how to move and shake in those situations. So there's so many. I always kind of give the example of if I need to conquer a country, that's where you use an army, kind of thing. Well, if I need to bake a cake, I need a baker. If you are not used to dealing with combative people, this is typically going to happen more often than not. A lot of times when we're watching some of these videos that are like super cringe, except for the last guy. The last guy was county, but I guarantee you the county he's in's like super screwy.
And how many of these videos do we watch where it's like, yeah, this not great? Like that's one guy out of 50 videos where we're like, we're like, oh, great training. Like,
heck, we had a LAPD made this twice in a stream, and one was like, we complained about it for like 20 minutes. The other one was like, dude, this guy's an absolute badass. Like, it's very different. The officers are like waiters.
Yes.
You don't know what you get. Or Jacob, he said release the dogs. I don't know why he has a German flag with that. It's the Call of Duty reference. I get this now. I think it was in German where they would give you the canines. It was World at War, the first going back to World War II games in the Call of Duty series. No, they were going back to World War II. It was greatness. Dogs were like cancer in that. That and Bouncing Betties were also terrible in that game.
That's true.
Anyways, we'll go to the next one. We'll go ahead and give a loss to the canine handler there. Police post. Shout out to police post.
So, this is something that we did kind of once. So they're assisting with bail bondsmen at a motel.
Christopher R. I don't know a ton about canine, but in the experience I did have, it's just weird. Dogs are a dog. I mean, what do you expect? You know, they're in a wild animal. You don't always know how they're going to react.
Yes.
So we'll keep going.
Raymond, come to the door. Show your hands. Hands. Walk out.
This guy's
Walk out.
kind of sick.
Where's Raymond at?
We had exactly this. We had exactly this scenario. Oof.
Yep.
Minus the shooting portion. I was lucky enough that it didn't end this way. But
That's right.
Raymond, come to the.
so we had too
Yeah.
many motels in our beat. It was so sucky. I hated motels.
Like shitty motels.
We had, off the top of my head, probably 4 that we probably dealt with every single day. If you put on a uniform and we're going to work and getting in a patrol card, like not working the desk that day, you were going to deal with those motels.
Yep.
I don't know what more they could have done in that situation. This guy's reaching for. I think he had a BB gun. I think I remember seeing this one later. I think he had like an airsoft pistol or something like that.
He asked for it. I don't know what you expect.
I will say this. I think here, this is where less lethal munitions make a ton of sense. If they had a beanbag shotgun, pepperball gun, something like that, you can at least try something else other than having to shoot the guy. But these officers weren't equipped with that.
You'd still try that even if he picked up an airsoft gun that looked like a gun?
No. I'm saying the second he starts reaching, I'm probably.
Oh, you're saying as he goes under the mattress.
Yeah, the second he's not complying, like literally this guy's probably getting 2 or 3 verbal commands, and then that guy knows if he's not complying almost instantaneously, we're folding this dude in half with a beanbag gun. I think it's where there's a really good argument for that. I think the Bolo rap might have an argument here. Taser, because he was shirtless, and those motels are pretty short. They were easily within 21 feet. Could you have maybe tried it? Maybe. I think it happened so quickly in this instance, and then he reaches for again. Let's say it was a real gun. Like R.I.P. to probably 2 or 3 of those officers. To be honest.
Easy, because there was
like nowhere to hide.
3 of them in that doorway.
Because it's a 200 number unit, it's typically like the second floor of a motel. It's literally nothing.
Yeah,
like there's a
can't
railing
back
on
out.
one side of you, and like a super big hallway. These suck. I hated motels for that very reason.
So I got one for you with the beanbag gun later. It's on YouTube, so we'll watch it after the Instagram stuff.
Yeah, producer Juan says pepper him ready or not stunt.
Well,
this is the reason why we play.
He might have complied.
He might have complied. We do not have flashbangs. I don't know if any patrol officer has access to flashbangs.
Nope.
Would be cool. And could potentially make the world a little bit safer for them, but I don't know about that.
I don't know about that.
That close with a beanbag gun would still shred him. I know that you can't, I think it's within 50 feet. You can't, you're not supposed to aim at the face anyways, but if you miss with the pepperball gun and hit him somewhere soft, yeah, I've heard we didn't have them issued to us, so they didn't nail us with pepperball or with beanbag shotguns. We only got tased and OC'd, but I can guarantee you that probably sucks at
We'll just watch it.
Okay, police activity. We'll go.
So, I don't know exactly why they're at this house. I've fast forwarded past a minute of them knocking on the door, but.
And these guys got breaching tools.
Yeah.
You know what my breaching tool was on patrol?
Your boot.
My right boot. I'm so jelly of all these police departments. I know this stuff. We're a big department, too.
Mm-hmm.
Sergeants had them, but if you were a P1, you were kind of screwed.
So there's your beanbag.
Man, this positioning blows. There's nothing you can do about it.
Take yourself down, please.
Like the announcement. Pause it real quick. So this is called a limited penetration entry into a room here. Notice that they're standing outside because they don't want to do a dynamic entry here where they run in like idiots, ready or not style. This is indication of good tactics so far. I'm pretty happy with this. I will say to people that are not from the police world that are watching this later, what do you do in this instance? how do you make this safe outside of entering the structure, not knowing what you're walking into? If this guy's got an AK or whatever it is, this does suck. I do like that they have tools available to them, but this is kind of, they didn't check for traps. Gonna get North Carolina.
Well,
Another
that's
ready or
not wrong.
reference.
That's really not wrong. They did not check.
Yeah, so we'll see what happens.
Please, DJ, come out!
Also
Show your hands
announcing
and
that
keep
they're
your hands
police.
Drop the knife! Drop the knife! Drop that knife! Put the knife down or I'll shoot the beanbag! Drop it! Drop it!
Get him with the beanbag, my dude.
Beanbag! Beanbag!
that's
Drop
good.
He
it!
doesn't even
Drop
care.
the knife!
Yeah.
Drop the knife! Drop it!
Bro, 3
Yeah, Eddie does it.
bean bags, and he doesn't
They're-
care.
They're what? 10 feet away?
Close.
15
And he
feet
did
away?
not care.
Yeah, and it's one of the things that I kind of I talked about this during our.
Drop the knife!
And they still don't want to go in.
I wouldn't. Yeah.
Drop the knife!
I respect the game here. So they're trying. I'll tell you what, they're trying.
Drop the knife! Drop the knife!
Don't, telling him you're gonna tase him and tasing him
him
needs to be
again.
heavy. Yeah, there was nothing you were gonna do there.
They tried
Hey, I will say this though, bro.
everything they
Stone's
had
going up to go in and tasing him, but
with a knife. He had a knife. in
was
his
he
hand.
high? You'd be surprised. You don't really have to be high to ignore pain tolerance. I think you could just be pissed off, to be honest. Does getting tased hurt?
Yes.
Does getting OC'd hurt? Yes. But it doesn't prevent you from doing anything. If you're motivated enough, you're gonna work through it.
A good tase will prevent you.
At least for 5 seconds. You're
Yeah.
right. You're right. Yeah.
But he had sweatpants on and a baggy T-shirt.
But Night of P, I appreciate the input with beanbags. Like I said, I've never interacted with beanbags. I just know it is a tool I wish we had access to when I was on patrol, because it gives us again at least another option. But this was done in probably the best way you could have done it, in that they continued to give verbal commands. They said that they were police. They pretty much emptied this beanbag gun on this guy, and they tried to tase him. And it really wasn't until they got lunged at that they ended up using deadly force.
Yeah.
You know, the discussion's always in these situations, well, why didn't you shoot him in the hand? I will give the Burlington Coat Factory example as to why you don't do that. I shoot a guy in the hand with a 9mm, it's going to, go clean through that hand and back into this apartment. So your job is to aim center mass, and bullets are designed to stop with literally the FBI requirement is, I think, 13 inches worth of material. You're not that thick. You got to imagine you're probably only about anywhere from 18 to, maybe if you're like real thick, you're probably like 30 or 40 inches. I mean, talking like front to back, not circumference. You gotta imagine a hand's like literally inches.
Yeah.
You're talking about like maybe 2 inches, or even.
And if you don't hit a bone, it's skin and muscle and blood vessel.
And even if you do, it's a tiny little. I've watched bullets go through door frames. I've watched bullets go through. It's just not a good, especially in that situation. Shooting him in the hand's not really an option, because even if you were good enough to do it, you're probably injuring somebody in the backdrop. Right there.
Good luck being good enough to do that in that high stress of a situation.
I agree. Kings of Sight, I agree. Adrenaline's a hell of a drug. It's definitely a drug. And Jacob gave thick with 2 C's in the comments. Yeah, you could be thick with 2 C's and still have a bullet go through and through. You'd be surprised. Hey, batter. Swing batter. Where's Mike the Cop? Shout out.
All over the internet. Since it doesn't have sound, I decided to add some to it.
I'm going to take all these girth clips out of context on TikTok.
It was like, here's slow pitch, here's fast pitch, and oops, is this the window to a police department? That explains why my tokens were working. Maybe he was looking for one officer in particular that wrote him a ticket for that rolling stop sign. Oh, hey, he's in the doorway. Look at that stance, though. Definitely.
What a weird deal.
Yeah.
Let's be honest. Standing in the doorway ready to smoke some cops with a bat. That's a bold strategy, cop. Let's see if it pays off. And
Bro.
is that a police detective or Terry Tate?
Yeah.
Someone give that guy
So
a
the
ring.
Detroit Lions are about to call this guy for a contract. Man,
They
that was
should.
a dope tackle. That was incredible.
Hey guys, Mike the cop here.
Yeah.
So I'll say this. that officer exhibited great courage to go do that and put himself in harm's way to go not have to hurt this dude. This guy's probably dealing with some sort of mental episode. This is pretty
Something.
indicative of acute, stress.
Yeah.
But he also had to be fit enough to do that. There's no amount of training that's going to tell you to go tackle a guy. That's just a dude probably playing football in college and just saying whatever, about to yeet this guy into.
And he did.
He did a great job.
He
And
folded
honestly,
him in half.
of all of the clips we've watched so far, I would consider that the biggest win because everyone got to walk away with that. Hopefully not injured, but in policing, we would consider that the biggest of wins. I think a lot of people miss, as we're breaking down, OISs and stuff like that, a lot of people think, the good guys got away, that's a good thing. No, anyone dying or getting hurt sucks. Unless they're a child predator. In that case, I don't care.
That's true.
I don't want to apologize for that. But these are the best case scenarios. You have officers that have the right training, the right fitness. Is the right guy at the right time with the right training can solve that situation. And I think it's an example of what it is. And that goes to detective. He wasn't even in uniform. This guy had a gun and a badge on his hip.
Yeah.
Shout out to the detective for staying in shape.
Well, I mean, they have more time to work out, so.
They do. Another Mike the Cop video. Ooh, heartburn. Oh.
So, this was more like the highways that we worked.
It legitimately,
without a doubt.
Both of the highways that kind of intersected through our area of responsibility, it was literally that. It was just like a retaining wall.
Yeah.
And that was it. Like a short, like chest height. Oh.
Yeah.
I'm so pissed.
Dude. And that's just icy roads, snow,
See, and pause. I kind of want to explain this to people, the amount of stress that officers feel, regardless of what they're doing. This guy's wearing the reflective vest.
Oh, whole jacket, dude.
This
whole
guy's
reflective jacket.
Probably got his rears on, right?
Yep.
That's his flashers, his overhead lights, the red and blues. We have a version that just turns them on in the back, at the front. And he still almost gets nailed. Having to be out there and do all that, I don't know. It just sucks.
Yeah.
That second cop dodged it twice. He really did. This guy's on some, Bruce Lee level of stuff here. But I tell you what, that cop just yeeted himself over that.
Yeah.
I for a half a second, I thought he was going to get run over on the other side. I was like, please, no. Oh. Yeah, it just... That's a minor stressor. That's a less obvious, but when you're on the side of the highway, and I probably spent hours, hundreds of hours just chilling on the freeway with nothing but a patrol car. And then I have second responders in their big old woo-woo trucks that are like, oh, we're gonna clear.
Yeah, can't wait to get out of there.
There's no fire to put out.
So can't wait to leave. Are you guys good? We cleaned up all the debris. You guys good? Can we go?
You know who you are.
We want to go back to the station.
Yeah, we know who you are.
So
Christmas noob run.
This is just a little. Oh, you commented on this.
Hey, I did. Check it out.
There you go. Good little training scenario.
Man, he's really not approaching this car. Oh, this is the instructor. Door slam, get written up. So I'm not gonna lie. Pause. Oh, I'm gonna spill. You think we're getting written up if we treated a situation like that boy?
Yes.
100,000% getting written up for that.
Yeah.
That is gonna be going
without a doubt.
A unlawful use of force is what they're gonna call it.
Without a doubt.
I'm gonna just to explain the context to people the short stick that you were given in law enforcement. So him exiting the car, do you think how would I articulate as a deadly threat?
Him exiting the car?
Yeah, just exiting the car.
That's not a deadly threat.
Not at all.
Did he have a weapon in his hand?
He had a cell phone in his hand. I
I
had
don't
it up
care.
to his ear like this. You know,
Everyone had a cell phone when I pulled him over.
100%. And so I understand that they saw something atypical, so that they thought, and clearly they're in like fistman suits. They know this is going to be some level of escalation, so they get to game the system a bit here. But I'm gonna be honest, it's not a kosher use of force.
I don't think
if
so.
this was a real traffic stop, like it wasn't a training scenario, and they pulled a gun on a guy for that.
I mean,
Like,
If-
and I've had people pop out of cars like this.
oh yeah, pissed off, like super
You know,
pissed off, like
sure,
yelling,
but like,
doing the
I'm
whole
gonna be
thing.
honest, like pointing a gun at somebody is pretty serious business.
Yeah.
and
I mean,
I think you're gonna have a real hard time. I understand what they're getting at from a training set. They're trying to give them a rep on a combative traffic stop, but I will say this from a training scar standpoint. They were not presented with a deadly threat, and they're teaching themselves that the second someone pops out of this car, I'm pointing a gun at them. Now,
Yeah.
I will say this, and I think I even put that in the comment on here. If they get out of the car, they're not going back in. I tell you that
no,
now.
that was the first thing I
Hell no.
thought.
Not no, but hell no.
And
My
the
leg
actor goes, "Oh, you want me to get back in the car? Oh, okay."
bet the rest of the scenario. I don't think we get to see the rest of the scenario, but the rest of the scenario, this guy shoots at these dudes. Guarantee you. I also don't think this justifies a high risk takedown of this car.
Yeah, they're going to a felony stop. I wish we could see the rest,
Yeah. So I don't know.
but no, you're out of the car.
I don't think that's They're not
Great,
going back
dude.
in. And if this was a minor traffic violation,
Oh,
like I stopped this dude because like his taillight was out.
I don't think we would have gotten written up. I think we would have got days off.
Oh yeah. And I did a high risk takedown of a car just because he got out of it.
Because they would look at
Yeah.
every
get fucked.
second of the body camera, the dash cam. Yeah, the whole thing.
Yeah.
And then you have people screaming code 3 to you.
Mm-hmm.
No, dude.
Gotta go back to take a nap.
That's true.
Mr. Juan.
They did.
Metagaming the T-stop, yeah. I don't. It's my issue with that type of training is that like, if it's not being contextualized, like let's say these are new officers, right? This is an academy, and the training scar you're developing is that every single time somebody jumps out of a car, I gotta go point a gun at them, and it turns into a felony stop. You know.
I mean, we had those scenarios in our academy.
Yep.
I don't think
And
I
it
don't think I
it would've
pointed
been
my.
a fail.
Yeah, dude, it would have been a
It a huge
stop.
fail.
What are you doing? Like,
Yeah, we'd have been bitched up for that for sure. And the problem is that level of training or understanding around contextualizing the situations that you're looking at isn't being trained. I had this conversation when we were live on TikTok that like it's expensive to train somebody to do it. The amount of reps you have to okay, someone's getting out of a car, that's a little weird.
Yeah.
Let me look at their hands. If I look at their hands and I start to see something, don't get me wrong, is my hand on my gun?
Of course.
100%.
It was
100%.
almost
It's
every time you get out of the car on a traffic stop,
Yeah.
anyways. Just because
my
you
hand's
do.
probably on my gun for this.
You don't know.
But going through, pointing a gun at him, and then deciding to make this a felony take, like, no.
After you let him get back in the car.
Agree.
So
That's
now
a
if he
big
goes in
no.
and gets a gun, whose fault is that?
Yeah, and it's indicative, like I said, it's indicative of, in my personal opinion, bad training or a lack of training.
Yeah.
One of the things that would have also been a nick on us is slamming the door like that. Shut. I specifically remember them being like, yeah, you closed that door too loud. I'm like, well, that's stupid. And then you stop real cars and you're like, yeah, I'm an idiot.
Yeah.
Also, like how slowly he walked to like exit his vehicle.
Also, look how
Like,
far
kind of
away
reminiscent.
he is.
That's what I was getting at. There's a handful of things that are kind of fucky with this. So
That's like a
it
full 2 car lengths
Yeah.
away.
it's not here to shit on these guys that are over here. I don't know what the context is of them doing this traffic stop, but
Yeah, I wish we had more. Like, what was the
if I had
stop
a little more
for?
context, I wish if they knew if the scenario was this is going to be a use of force scenario, then that's one thing. But even then, it's still bad training because you don't get to know.
Yeah.
In a police setting, you don't get to know.
Well, unless you're saying it's a stolen car or it's like it's a known felon or something like that. Yeah, maybe.
Sure, felony warrant, something like
Maybe.
that. I kind of get that.
But then you're doing a felony stop to begin with.
Agreed.
You're not going up there anyways.
Yeah. So there's just a lot of weird issues with this. If these were MPs, somebody asked me about military police, and I was like, yeah, it's very different. Totally different. Those guys are guarding fixed positions. The
Way
people
different.
they're interacting with don't have rights. That's a very
Way
different.
Yeah.
I'm talking like being a beat cop today in America. This is not going to fly. And it shouldn't fly, to be honest. And does it place law enforcement on their back foot and in a hole? Sure. But that's what training's for.
Yeah.
That's what being smart about this. If I was nervous about stopping a car, I'm going to get a second. Hell, by the end of it, I wasn't allowed to stop a car without you coming and helping me, to be honest.
Yeah.
You would come every single time. So, anyways, we'll go on to the next one.
So, I don't know when this was. 6 days ago.
Shout out to Police Fitness Nutrition.
Yeah, so they parked their car on the street to inspect a transit station.
Oof.
When they came back to their car, it was engulfed in flames. So that tells you how things are going in New York right now.
So I'm going to guess that level of... Oh, what's going on, Shawnee? I didn't realize you jumped into the chat. You're good.
I didn't know that y'all can... I'm sorry.
You're good. You're good. To anyone that wants to know, Discord is how you get a hold of us. That was one of our good friends joining our Discord. But I'm going to go ahead and assume that this patrol car didn't just catch on fire. This looks very indicative of a localized fire. I'm not a firefighter, but...
You don't think it was spontaneous engine combustion?
No, probably not. I'm going to vote that's probably like a Molotov cocktail or something stupid like that. That's taxpayer money, my dude. That's what's stupid about it. That's kind of the dumbest thing about it. Like, bro, you want to go be like a real rebel? Like, don't pay your taxes or something like that. Like, don't do this. This costs us money.
I don't know about that, because...
You want to go stick it to the man in a way that's real rebellious. Don't do this.
Yeah.
That being said, NYPD is not exactly like on a high list of people that do a great job all the time.
That's true.
Streamus interruptus. Producer Juan's making fun of Shawnee for not realizing she wasn't muted.
It's
okay,
fine.
Shawnee. We forgive you.
Shawnee's new to Discord, okay? We can't all be great.
She is new to Discord.
I am. I'm new to all of this. And I'm what's going on.
It's
So
fine.
anyways,
It's fine.
We will have an introduction for all of that stuff later, but I appreciate you stopping by.
So here's our last Instagram post.
Yes,
And-
effective police training.
Yes. And it's about fitness.
A lack of physical fitness can be funny at times. However, it's not funny when there's a life on the line, at the top of that hill or over that 6-foot fence.
Oh
not let your
my god!
We're not going to play this because of the music.
Oh my god!
He's got his taser out, though.
Oh my god! Bruh!
Yep.
Bruh!
Yeah.
Bruh! It's not even a tall hill, dude.
No. It's really not. And he's not even, like, he starts walking.
He's like, I got time. Look at
Yeah.
him turn up. I got time. Yeah, you got time, my dude. To be fair, the vest does make you look a little heavier than you are, but his vest ain't hurting him that much. He's got a fat suit on under his vest.
Yeah.
Bro, you don't have to have six-pack abs. Heck, you don't even have to be like aesthetic in a physique or anything like that.
Nope.
But you need to be able to make it over that hill, my dude. Like I said, I was in 2-foot pursuits that went further than a block. One of which I legit, when I measured it, I ran like almost 1.5 miles. It was on and off, but I did run in gear on patrol practically 1.5 miles, like an idiot. And it took me, it was because it was on and off. I think it took place over like 10 minutes, but it was like, that's running.
Yeah.
You have to be able to, getting in a fight, anything like that. I still have to be able to get on the radio.
Yep.
I still have to be able to make, have my, keep my prefrontal cortex engaged and stuff like that. And you have to be able to make decisions under stress. That part of that is fitness. And that kills me every time.
Yeah.
He a thickie. Yes, Jacob. He's a thickie. Producer
true.
Juan said that is him when he is going to the fridge for a midnight snack.
You have to walk up a hill to get to your fridge?
He says that back in Mexico, and we had to walk up a hill both ways.
Both ways.
To go get a snack. Juan, if you were having to walk like that every time, we'd all be skinny. But,
It's true.
bruh, this guy.
So,
This from YouTube?
yes. So,
Hey, active self-protection. You guys are pretty cool. For not being PD guys, you guys are pretty cool.
yeah, this got sent to me today for me to watch, and I decided it needed to make the stream.
Because they have
Pause it real quick. Shout out to Christopher R. for making my night. Dwarfs are dangerous at short distance.
Wow.
I love the Lord of the Rings reference.
Wow.
And yes, they are. And short distances. On a short sprint, you look like an alligator, you know? Dwarfs.
Jeez.
Anyways, we'll keep going.
received a 911 call that a pedestrian is wandering around on an off-ramp to the freeway. When they get there, they're going to encounter an unrelated man who starts throwing rocks at their patrol cruisers, and this officer is jumping out to address that man.
What kind of rock?
Hands. Show your hands.
I don't know.
Walking now. Stop walking.
What criminal mischief, misdemeanor in my presence, I bless it. He's armed with rocks.
Come here. Do not make me go hands on you. Take off if you want. Get on the ground.
Oh, that's a write-up, for sure.
Did you hear it?
Uh-uh.
She shot at him.
No.
The female officer shot at him.
No.
Listen.
For real?
Listen.
Do not make me go hands on you. Take off if you want. Get on the ground.
And there's two officers. Were those gunshots?
Yep.
Like more than one?
Yep.
What do you mean, are you shot? If you shot at him, oh, this kills me. Producer One, your comment about it being modern rock is appreciated. I don't know, man.
So, officer thankfully misses is the title. Multiple shots. And then ran over. Did nothing to secure him. Just asked him if he was shot.
Bro, his hands were empty.
He had a... Well, she thought it was her taser. She yelled, "Taser, taser, taser."
Did she really?
Yes.
Bro, females are 2 for 2 this year on that shit. Oh, this is 2019, I guess. That was the year before, but... Oh, don't be a statistic, man. Are you shot? I'm real. Shit with this gun. Did I accidentally hit you? Producer Juan. That's incredible.
Yeah.
Training's important. Stress inoculation training is important. I'm trying to be constructive here.
So my thing is, and so Chris sent this to me. You know Chris. He was a second responder for a while.
Hey, man.
But we talk about a lot of stuff. And my thing is, when you're not physically capable, you rely on your tools.
Yep.
So if you're going to rely on your tools, that's fine, but you better be proficient with your tools.
So
pulling your gun and thinking it's your taser, and because you're too scared to go hands-on, like, you need to find a new job. There's no other...
Well, and also, like, here's kind of my issue with it. I have literally been fighting someone with a gun in my hand. I've done that before. In IRL, had my hands on a person that I was putting on the ground with a gun in my hand. It felt stupid, but that's what I had to do. There was a situation, that was the card I was dealt. We're in the middle of doing some nonsense, some deadly shit was going down, and I still had to have this gun in my hand.
Yeah.
And somehow, magically, I don't know how, I guess I'm Superman on the internet here, the gun was never discharged. It wasn't ever pointed at anyone that didn't need it to be pointed at.
It's crazy. That's the
craziest. I can't.
You should write a book.
I really should.
That's the craziest thing I've ever heard.
I'm like the Detroit urban survival guy of, I guess, Patrol or whatever. it frustrates me because cops do it all the time.
Yeah.
Well, they do it
Yeah.
great all the time, and they figure it out. But you see these instances where it's like any amount of resistance or stress happens, and there's and I will come out and say it that there's zero excuse for it. Because I guarantee you, if the demographics of that situation was even a little bit different, or it was a different year, that goes completely out the roof.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Now cities are getting burned down. There's cops that aren't running around accidentally trying to shoot people that are now getting hurt and getting their vehicles torched and getting bricks thrown at them. It pisses me. It gives me, and I guess you're seeing me vent a bit from my previous frustrations of doing it. But there's, and we've said this before, there's no way that's the first time that behavior's been expressed by that officer.
That's impossible for it to
No
be.
way.
And that was Nevada Highway Patrol.
Yeah.
That wasn't a small city department. That wasn't a, So, and like the conversation you had on TikTok before this, that's what you're going to get when you defund police departments. You're going to get people that don't have the training and skill and the desirability that you want.
I'm going to be honest. I don't want a cop that's there for the paycheck. I don't.
I mean,
and I said this on TikTok when somebody asked me why I left. I was like, I wasn't willing to die for the job.
right.
The second I wasn't willing to do that, I left because I'm wasting space at that point. There are people that need me to be willing to die for the job, for me to be good at my job to the degree that I think is acceptable. Because I am going to be stepping on people's rights and things of that nature. But
it's pretty tough to do that job for the paycheck, knowing what you get paid. Like,
that's what I mean. But on top of that, like, I just, because I had been there enough times, I've watched rookies that had zero life experience, but experienced training. They had training. They went through FTO and all that stuff.
Yeah.
That were able to handle way worse scenarios.
Yeah.
Nobody gets shot or accidentally shot at in that instance. I have never, ever seen someone accidentally pull their gun on patrol. I never once saw that. I was never even close to seeing so. I never even heard someone say, "Oops, I almost pulled my taser or almost pulled my gun." Ever. The holsters are super. Like some of these have like 3 different, ways of retention. I just
don't know how you do it. I don't know how you.
There was that guy, and I even commented like a troll. It was on a TikTok, and I think I did it through Only Cops. But this guy was giving testimony that Taser International has. It's posted somewhere that it can be mistaken for a gun, and that the shape of the grip and all of this stuff.
It's not even
no.
similar.
No.
It's not even kind of close.
He said, is it possible for a person to mistake their taser for their gun? And literally my comment was just the asterisk, no. like correcting his yes with a no. Because there's zero with training and the right person, which means somebody that's going to keep themselves calm and be able to make, objective decisions while administrating law. No. In the same way that I, your penis doesn't accidentally fall out of your pants, and onto some kid. It's not how any of that works. This all happens very intentionally. You know what I mean? You're not allowed to say, "Well, I did it on accident."
Well, my thing is that wasn't even that wasn't even a hot call.
It's a dude with a rock, and he already threw it. He committed criminal mischief.
Probably a small rock, if we're being honest. Like. Probably those little sidewalk rocks, like.
And maybe he was being a prick, and maybe his parents should have spanked him more, and maybe all of those things. At no point in time did he again present a deadly threat. Just because someone's resisting doesn't mean you get to point a gun at him.
I mean, I don't. Why did all?
It goes right back to the scenario that we had with those guys with the traffic stop.
Why did all 3 of those cops have tasers out? No one can go hands on. You're telling me?
I tell you, I'm gonna be honest.
Nobody's confident to go hands on.
If I look at this guy and his hands are empty, and he's being squirrely like that, I would look at all them and be, hey, you got taser? Yeah, you got maybe lethal if we need it? Sure. And go to the experienced, calm person.
Yeah.
All right, motherfucker, time to get ignorant. And like I said, that taser deployment, had it worked, would have been a write-up for sure. Where we were at, for sure.
Yeah.
He's on pavement. We wouldn't have been allowed to do that.
For criminal mischief? No.
Oh, and that's what I'm getting at is like,
No.
there's also the legal question of why it's being done. And so, like, I don't know. That shit pisses me off. I always get all pissed off when I watch these. I'm like, why I do this?
Here, this will make you feel better. We'll end on this again.
So it is what it is. Like I said, it's a hard job, and I never try to downplay how complicated the job is. You know, if you want to be a first responder and get all the glory for it, but not do actual work, go be a firefighter. You know,
People love firefighters.
Yeah,
I've never seen anyone yell at a firefighter.
that one officer kept saying that he was going to go hands-on, but didn't. Yep, because he's a loser. Well, no, honestly, if that chick had a gun pulled out, I'd probably be nervous about going hands-on.
Well, that's the other thing. Like,
my lethal cover, yeah.
Just because you think you're gonna like threaten this person, like you already pulled your taser out, he doesn't care about that. You think he cares that you? Oh, don't make me go hands-on. Shut the fuck up. Just do it.
Yeah,
like,
just do it. Well, and on top of that, like I said, there was a conversation, or Chris was talking about beanbags, and we had a discussion about beanbags. Probably wouldn't have worked, to be honest. He's that pissed off. It's probably not going to work. Be nice to at least try, because then you can say you tried it before you went and got ignorant with the guy and had to throw him on the ground. But
taser didn't work, so
yeah. I eventually you have to use your hands and, you know, grab a person and take him to jail. But
well, the taser doesn't put someone in handcuffs.
Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah.
I don't know,
Anyways.
dude. It's very...
I yell at firefighters for you, Bill.
Perfect.
We appreciate.
I appreciate that,
Jacob. That actually warmed my heart. If
Yeah.
anything, that alleviated all the anger I just had. So. And again, know that if you're a firefighter and you happen to come across this video and you make it to this point, I want you to personally know I say all of these things just because I'm jealous.
Yeah.
You get all the glory and take none of the risk, so I appreciate it.
If we had made the smart decision and gone to the fire academy instead of the police academy, we'd probably still be first responders.
Oh, 100%. 100%.
So I'm just jealous.
Oh, yeah.
But then I couldn't have this beard, so maybe not.
Yeah, 100 college kids were hoping the fence at me.
Hopping.
Hopping. We're hopping the fence from the Wild House party. I had a shotgun and didn't shoot any of them. Crazy.
Whoa.
That's amazing.
You should write a book, too.
You should write a book, too. Chris R., you were clearly a superhuman. And,
Superman,
you
dude.
know, just, you probably, you know, you should probably get the, like, I don't know.
You should get a life-saving award.
I think so, yeah. Every single one of those kids should have got shot at, according to some of these idiots.
Yeah.
They've had it too good for too long.
Well,
Producer Wad.
I mean...
And the other thing, I'll say it right now, just so no somebody can't turn around and say I never say it. The culture around policing currently, in certain circles, is that, like, let's say that chick did connect with that gun and shot that kid.
Mm-hmm.
There would be people, inevitably, in the comments that are like, well, he had a rock.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. He tried to run.
They had to make a split-second decision.
Yeah.
No. I'll tell you right now, no. I've been there. I've done that. Had people with actual guns. Had people that are actually resisting and saying, I'm going to kill you and XYZ, whatever. Somehow magically, they all got into custody alive.
But how crazy is it that she yells taser, 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 and then shoots again? Like, that I
honestly can't wrap my head around. Same thing with the other chick that did it on the traffic stop. It made zero sense to me, like, that's even a thing.
And that situation looked more dangerous than this one. Like,
yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, at least in that one, there's like a car. And
he's trying to flee.
Yeah,
like,
sure.
That one was at least more higher stress level.
Yeah, Chris. All I can think of now is that you and Bill and college kids running like those firefighters in those videos. That's kind of funny.
Are we the Longhorn or are we the firefighters?
I think they're I think y'all are the Longhorn. I don't mess with bulls. Yeah, I don't mess with bulls either, to be honest. I wouldn't dick with that.
We shut down some pretty big parties.
I will say that though. Yeah, a lot of time, or even just like protests and stuff. Like there was
Well, yeah, there was that too, I guess.
there was
But you remember that apartment pool where the pool was in the center of the apartment complex, and they had the DJ, and we walked in and it just
It was
reeked
kids'
like
stuff.
weed, and they were for sure collecting money to get in the door, and all we did was walk in and like tell the DJ to shut it down.
Yep, that was it. Hey man, turn your music off.
We didn't shoot anybody.
Crazy.
It was weird.
Crazy. I was outnumbered like 1,000 to 1 there.
Easily, dude. Easily.
Somehow no one got hurt. Heck, we had one it was like 2018. And I had the worst supervisor on the planet at the time. I was on B shift. And it was a different apartment complex, but they were like setting off fireworks and stuff.
Really?
And there was literally like 3,000 people.
So, do you remember
Like a
when
pool.
Southside had those giant parties?
Yeah.
Yeah, I had to go to some of those.
Anyway, like I said,
those got rowdy.
Way higher stress.
Yes,
we
come
had like
on.
confirmed like gangbangers with felony
Yes.
warrants with these things with guns, and somehow magically nobody got hurt. I didn't mistake my taser for my gun or whatever. I have zero sympathy for people. Like that.
Honestly, I
I
felt
get
more
it.
comfortable without my taser because I know how little it works.
Yeah, I seriously am an advocate for getting rid of batons. Like legitimately an advocate.
Yeah.
As long as I had a glass breaker, I
Yeah,
wouldn't need a baton.
that you
There's
could carry
zero
in
reason
your
I wouldn't.
pocket. Like,
Yeah. Yeah. And if I need to knock on a door real loud, that's what my flashlight's for.
that's true.
Buy a Streamlight or whatever.
that's
Shout out
true.
to Streamlight. They're not a channel sponsor, but I have like 2 or 3 of their flashlights.
Hey, if you need to knock real loud, just use your foot.
Yeah.
That's a loud bang. I'm just saying.
No, well, with our luck, it is, you're going to have some cop that's going to be like, all right, I'm going to knock. I'll pull their gun out and knock on it.
Knock with
the...
the- Pow! Oh,
No,
wow.
Oh, man, sorry.
Oh, taser,
Anyways.
taser.
I'm not salty. So anyways, do you have any other clips?
No, that's it.
All right. She should have yelled gun, 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 and that
Well, I don't know.
Yeah, it's probably worse.
Maybe. I mean, maybe she
so
saw
anyways,
a gun.
I think the general takeaway from this kind of stuff is you can't get away from the need and necessity to have brave individuals with the right training and being held to the right standard of excellence. I think expectations need to be raised on the quality of individual that we have that become officers. We have to make the job more appealing
Yes.
for people that are going to meet the standard of this higher quality. I think education needs to go up. I think more of an emphasis needs to be placed on equipping that officer, not just from an equipment standpoint, but from like a experience and training standpoint of like,
Yeah.
hey, I'm going to run you through a bunch of scenarios where, you don't know what's going to happen. Either this is going to
Really?
be a suicidal person or a person that just needs to be talked to. And like really the amount of training you need to not be a liability when they give you a gun and put you on the street and put you responsible for people's lives is a lot higher than people want it to be.
Well, our academy was 8 months long, and I still felt like a liability my whole first year.
Sure, 100%.
Like-
I legitimately, I don't think I felt comfortable working a call by myself until about a year.
Yeah.
And then after like 1 year of thinking I was Billy Badass and then getting written up or whatever, I went back to like, even though I know how to do it, I'm going to wait till I have somebody else with me because I'm not an idiot.
And I'm talking a year after field training.
It's like after FTO. Yeah,
Yes.
it's like
It would have been like almost our 2 years in policing.
Sure. Like wearing a uniform and pulling people over and working calls. Like it took a very long time. And that was in a very busy city.
Yes.
We worked a ton of calls. And it just never... I never... And I don't know that you could adequately do it in a classroom or
No.
in a safe training environment.
Probably
but
not.
like... You need to adjust your expectation for how quick it is that you can churn out a police officer. A good one.
But also, you need more than 40 hours of training a year.
Yeah. Well, and even then, like, you need a higher frequency of training. I really think it's
That's what I mean.
Quarterly stuff.
Yes.
I think you should have annual stuff. I think you should have, biannual stuff.
Even if it's only 2 days quarterly, that's better than 4 days or 5 days once a year.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you're getting refreshed on stuff, or you're getting new situations. Like,
I believe that the type of policing that occurs today works in small towns. I really don't think that's, and honestly, it's why small towns don't make the news.
Right.
I can have a kid with a GED, and I don't know, is able to pass a written exam.
His name is Michael.
His name is Michael. There it is. His name is Michael. But you start looking at like big cities that have big city problems, and you have kind of the clusterfuck that urban environments kind of put you in, and the level of crime that you're dealing with. I don't know if you do it through government subsidies. I don't know how you do it. But if you legitimately care and legitimately want to be an advocate for this stuff, you need to be saying, hey, like, why don't we fire more cops for doing dumb stuff? Like, small dumb stuff. Like, you know what I mean? Like, why don't we do that more often?
The other thing is, especially with a department like ours, you have to be realistic about the crime that your department deals with. Our department liked to think that our city didn't have that much crime. They would never admit that they had a gang problem. Like, and they brought officers in that could handle that level of crime when really it was 2 to 3 levels higher.
Oh yeah.
It should have been much different officers.
Yeah.
I'm not saying they couldn't make good officers somewhere.
Yeah.
I'm just saying that the level of crime that we interacted with almost every shift was a lot higher than they like to let people believe.
And I like producer Juan just put this comment in the chat that he said it worked well in the suburbs, but it's broken in cities. And I agree that it's kind of what we're getting at is like there has to be a different standard. It's like even in different parts of the country, like culture is very different. There was a foreign exchange student one time that I was talking to, and he asked me why I thought I needed a gun to be on patrol. And I told him that I told him to poke my vest. And I was like, you realize I'm wearing a bulletproof vest? He's like, that stops bullets? I said, some. Not all of them, but it can stop some. And it only covers so much of my body.
Yeah.
And I said, oh yeah, people. I've been assaulted multiple times on bond duty, you know. Yeah. I was like, there's real people. I have whole groups that have Facebook groups and fundraisers for killing cops, literally.
Yep.
And he's like, well, why do you think that is? I said, I don't know. Cultural differences. There's a bunch of reasons why. You know, they probably have shitty police departments that get people pissed off, and it's this awful cycle of violence that happens within, you know, cities.
Or they break the law a lot.
Yeah, but he was like, we just don't do it because it's embarrassing. He's literally talking about that. I think the kid was from Korea. And he was saying that, like, yeah, like the police really do more like scolding than anything.
Yeah.
It's like just literally somewhere there to like give you shame.
Yeah.
And in America, and I love the country. I'm glad that we have our freedoms, but it is the double-edged sword of having a free people that are a little bit dysfunctional. We're a bunch of immigrants that are dysfunctional as hell and don't like to be told what to do.
Yeah.
And so the unfortunate reality of that and the reaction to that is that your police have to be ready to deal with and handle that person. When an American throws a temper tantrum, they can turn into a school. That's really the issue. And so I don't know. It's a world we live in. Incentives for admin are to make the city look safer than it is because they're accountable to politicians and not their officers or the citizens. But man, producer Juan dropping knowledge bombs here.
That's I'm all for that, but they need to be realistic with the department.
Yes.
Like,
well, and like
you can tell the city all the bullshit that you want, but you have to hire the right officers.
Yeah, in the corporate world, we call them KPIs, which is the key performance indicators, and the key performance indicators typically for administrators are stuff that can show up on a spreadsheet. So if I'm issuing citations or I'm stopping vehicles, it doesn't matter why I'm doing any of these things. I'm just generating paperwork that says that I'm answering a call for service or I'm doing whatever. They don't give a damn what I'm doing. The problem and the difference between the corporate world and policing is that the issues are considerably more complex. You know what I mean? This is domestic violence you're dealing with, or this is, you know, substance abuse that you're dealing with, or, you know, even in a more abstract way, like alcoholism leads to so many more deaths.
Yeah.
You know, as far as what police interact with DWIs, we literally have units in almost every single city that only deal with DWIs. That's literally a substance abuse issue.
Yep.
That is a completely legalized substance Like, let's say that there's the advocates of people that are saying, well, let's decriminalize like heroin and stuff like that. Which again, I don't think that we should be slapping felonies on people that are just using heroin. But the problem is that it creates such a dangerous situation when you allow them to abuse it, or you allow them to have access to it and self-medicate with it, that you do enough heroin and use some crazy stuff that makes you immune to pepper spray and tasers and stuff like that. So, like, I understand freedom for freedom's sake, and I understand, like, not wanting to throw somebody in the system just because they have a substance abuse problem, but look at the cost you're going to pay in lives.
Yeah.
Look at the cost you're going to pay to allow that type of stuff to happen in society. It's not even really a moral issue. It's an ethics issue. Like, should I, as a society, be okay with that? And unfortunately, like I said, we collectively pay the price. Whether you're in law enforcement or you're a citizen, you pay the price for that. My city won't do drunk and disorderly underage drinking charges. Wow. On certain weeks because of tourists. Fuck your city. I'm sorry.
Is it a college town?
It's probably either a college town or it's like in Florida or some shit where they have
spring break
or whatever, or like Corpus Christi or some shit like that. In Texas, they have like 2 cities that have decent beaches, and by decent I mean like there's water on them.
Hey man, listen, if someone is drunk and getting rowdy enough, you can find a charge.
Sure. I will say that we were doing it was a Southland breakdown.
Yeah.
And some guy walked out. I was like, you know what? I'd take him to jail for pedestrian in a roadway.
You can find a charge.
Yeah. And again, there's case law to support your ability to take that person to jail, and you're not doing anything that's violating the constitution.
And also,
right?
you have to be a good and smart cop to be able to find it and articulate it.
Myrtle Beach.
Oh yeah, party town.
Oh. God bless you, sir.
But it's in the better Carolina, so...
That is true. It is in the better Carolina. City issues are systemic, and you can't just fire meth heads. To get rid of them. I think... when people... The term systemic, when you talk about problems, I think a lot of people think about, like, institutions when they talk about systemic, and I think what Juan is mentioning here, producer Juan's mentioning, it's even bigger than that. I think you have, like, when you talk about systemic, there's like cultural norms that we refuse to have conversations about. You have like Netflix shows celebrating like a junkie, and like showing a junkie that he's able to do meth every day and is still like a perfectly functional person in society. Like, that's unrealistic.
Are you talking about Shameless?
No, I don't know. I've never watched Shameless, probably. There was a show, and again, you talk about things being systemic. You talk about like, try not to get us demonetized here, but suicidality.
Yeah.
They had what was that dumb show, 13 Reasons Why or whatever?
Oh yeah.
Where you have a point of view character that post unaliving themselves. Are able to communicate through these tapes. I'm like, no, that's not how any of that works.
They glamorized suicide.
I'm like, how are you okay with this? And you'll have critics that'll sit there and say the artwork and XYZ or whatever. I was like, yes, but when you start talking about systemic issues, violence, things of that nature, you're feeding into that without knowing you're feeding into it. And it's because most people don't have to deal with it.
Yeah.
Again, I had never IRL seen someone try to harm themselves right in front of me before ever until I was a cop. I had never had to do something about said crackhead I'm watching out of my window while I'm trying to drive home until I was a police officer. And it changes your perspective a lot on how some of these things are treated. It kind of shows you how bad the problem really is.
Yeah.
And so, like, I think a lot of people very flippantly talk about things being systemic. I was like, we're all the problem. This is not like the elites creating this problem. This isn't just like big pharma. This is like all of us are paying into the system that's allowing these things to continue to perpetuate themselves. I could go on for an hour just on that. We probably will. We'll make a specific podcast for that. So to anybody that's still watching, I appreciate it. I got a huge tangent here, but
it's okay.
Yeah, we try to go live at least twice a week. Tuesdays we typically do our Let's Plays, and then Thursdays Bill hosts these podcasts, and we talk about police-related stuff. If you have stuff that you guys want us to see, send us comments and stuff like that. Yes, culturally systemic. Culturally, economically, there's a lot of stuff that drives these issues. I'm with you, Producer One. I think it's way bigger than people make it out to be. And we are, in some way, fueling this. We're all, in some way, responsible for it. It's not just some crackhead being an asshole. There's so many other things that put him there. And then the worst part about it is that the best solution they have is a cop. An undertrained, underpaid, overworked cop is like, here, go fix this crackhead that's going to throw a rock at you.
Yeah.
You have zero training on how to deal with him or what he's dealing with or anything like that. It's, I don't know. We'll be doing lots of content. So anyways, hey, Shawnee, what's going on? You said hi in the chat here. Producer Juan's been working very diligently to go set us some stuff up. We have a podcast with like an actual like therapist or something. He's going to talk about PTSD. We're currently working on that. I think I'm going to host it, and I'm sure Bill's going to be on there. We have some really cool plans with that stuff. Bill and I are also working on trying to find a gym or something like that in the North Texas area. It's going to help us do some jiu-jitsu stuff. I really want to have some cool conversations about that. We'll probably also do a gear podcast. I'm going to have to break that up into a bunch of different things. I want to talk about like ancillary stuff, pens, watches, notepads, stuff like that. I'll probably talk about the pews on the platforms that will allow me to talk about the pews.
AKA not TikTok.
Yeah, AKA not TikTok, yeah, because I don't want to get banned again. We have some plans to talk about MHMR stuff. For those of you that are not that know, that's mental health resources. It's autism, suicidality, depression, you know what I mean, at-risk groups and stuff like that. There's good conversations I think could be had because I think it all falls within the law enforcement spectrum. Yes, a licensed therapist that specializes in PTSD and substance abuse. So Producer Juan went and corrected me there. So we're setting that stuff up. If you guys want to see it, that we're going to try to get that stuff produced in the next couple weeks while still producing Let's Plays and stuff like that. If you guys have any suggestions for the stuff you want us to do, send us comments on Instagram and on TikTok. But the best way to send us suggestions on content is to join us on Patreon. Our Patreon subscribers can join us as low as $1 a month. Gets you access to Patreon-specific content, which we're starting to produce that only gets released there, or typically you get extended cuts of stuff. But it gives you a direct line of communication with us. It's where we share. A lot of these clips come from Michael, who's our Patreon subscriber, and if you want to be on the Only Cops Fire team, that's a good way to do it when we do Let's Plays on games that are multiplayer. And if you just want to kind of have questions that you want to do, come hang out with us and ask us questions online. So there's a lot of stuff down the pipeline. We've been working really hard at trying to generate all this stuff, and I appreciate everyone that has come out and supported us in this. Like, comment, subscribe. Go ahead and share all this if you can, if you get a chance. We're trying to make the world a better place for people and police. So thank you for riding 2.5 man with us.
2.5.
Since Shawnee decided to jump in for half a second.
And Producer Juan's been active in the chat.
And Producer Juan has been active in the chat. He, at the very least, like, comment, subscribe for Producer Juan.
That's right.
Always here for a good laugh.
And join Patreon because it's only $1, you bums.
Yes. Follow us on TikTok. We do a bunch of stupid skits on there. Follow us, obviously, here. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe because we go live twice a week and post random videos periodically. And go check out our merch. I'm wearing my Only Cops merch. And like I said, until next time, if you guys have suggestions, let us know. And thank you for riding 2.5 man with us.
2.5.
Peace. Yeah, 2.5.